Hello everyone to our third ROLLaROUTE bicycle ride and tour of the Luberon Regional Park. Yes, and here I am and we are starting to ride in a moment. I hope you enjoy.
I just wanted to show you this beautiful bike path that I have not been on yet. I think it's not that it's new, it's just haven't been on. A lot of recreational biking going on. Electrical bikes, very popular here too. So the street, the road is just running next to us, but it's pretty quiet. Oh, there's a fig tree somewhere. You always see it. Smell it before we get just... No, actually these were tiny pears. Don't know. Okay, so I have to tell you that this is just so amazing, beautiful. I am paddling the Luberon still, and I see many recreational bikers, French, I would say, due to the nature of things that we don't have a lot of tourists here right now. Vacation time is pretty much over. We have one more day and then kids go back to school, and we're all excited about what's gonna happen, distant learning or not, and so on. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that a lot of people ask me always about biking in Provence and how it is, and I'm always, quite prudent in the sense that yes, we do have to share roads and streets, but so this is very pleasant. So Luberon days on the bike, electrical bikes also everywhere to rent, is a great thing to do. So if you ever come, check that out if you would like to do that. Or for bikers too. I'm telling you that today because it's second day of the Tour de France 2020. Also exciting. So, voilà. So here, more impressions of this very pleasant path here between Avignon to Apt. I'm gonna put that up later on a map. We are still on our way to Roussillon. Hello. We are on our ride in the Luberon, and this is our first stop of a couple, and we stop at Roman Bridge. So I wanted to show you this Roman Bridge, which was built in the 3rd century BC, and so this Roman bridge initially was standing actually at the Via Domitia. The Via Domitia was the road that connected Italy, so direction Nice on the Côte d'Azur along, to the French colonies, or to the now French colonies, the Roman colonies on French territory. And so this is a quite important road, and we a couple times we actually will pass over there and we see it. And yes, so this bridge was connecting the two sides, and it's running over the Calavan River, which has right now, I'm looking at it, pretty much no water, but that's not a surprise at this time of year. And it was used until 2005 for cars, so that means for about 2,000 years it was used for cars, for transport, and so this is of course quite impressive. Now I'm going downwards because we're up on the road. Okay, so here we arrive. So I'm climbing my way down with my bicycling shoes. God, but this is beautiful. So we're in the middle of fields and off on a small road now. So look at this. So over there is now the new bridge. Since 2005, I said we used this bridge over there. But here we have this beautiful 3 arches. There's a third one. And the Calavan River. We have a look if we see some water. I don't think so. I see a lot of sand. That's good in my shoes. And no water. But as I said, not a surprise. So now what you see again, so this is a dry stone construction, meaning no mortar is used. This is typical limestone here from this area, and yeah, so So there's of course some work done and the observation done also that it stays stable and so on. But what is quite impressive is the size of the arch. And I'm gonna show you just over there the people, then you have an idea also about the size, you see. And again, now we don't have water, but we can actually have from time to time also very, very strenuous floodings, and we have those in winter sometimes. And I will show you maybe also the video of a flooding in 1992, I think it was. So yes, withstanding a lot of power. So what we normally see that on the arches, or I should say on the pillars, we have kind of a triangle sticking out that kind of divides the waves or the water mass that is gushing against the bridge, but it does not happen here. They did not build that. Well, it's relatively early, 3rd century BC as said. So maybe that technique was not out yet, or it was not needed. It was definitely not something that they just overlooked. So we see this is flat, and it's not that here we have a triangle sticking out, which is a very simple invention, but makes a big difference. So we are standing underneath, and before we climb our way back up again and go to our next site, just one more look. So you see up there was some replacement done and some work done, I think. But then over there again, the huge stones. So let's just go here. We can go up on the other side and find our bike again. Let's have a look from here. So what is also interesting, I have not pointed out yet. So if you look here inside, well, you see it's hollow. So this actually, if we really have high water, so up until that point, that means that when the high water comes, there is less pressure. So that makes also the bridge, then again, it makes it more resistant, as we have less face against the water. Okay, let's ride on. Next stop is Roussillon. Roussillon is our next stop, but before we get there, we're gonna ride now over this 2,000-year-old bridge, and we are pedaling up here. And then on top, so this is quite steep up, and then on top we are coming down. We have a look, yes, down on the empty riverbed, and to the right you see in a second, I try to show you, you see the new bridge. So this is where since 2005 the cars drive over, and we make our way now just down, let it roll very casually, and we will get then very soon, we should come to an intersection. So we are just going straight now over one of the main roads actually that runs parallel to the Luberon mountain range, and this road is the historical Via Domitia. So this is the Roman road that connected Italy to Spain, running along the, here we have the sign for Via Domitia, running along the Mediterranean. Yes, and now we are over here, we have crossed over, and now we are making our way up to Roussillon, which is a hilltop town. You will have a view later on, but what I wanted to show you here while I'm huffing and puffing up the mountain, or well, let's call it a hill, I wanted to show you already how the soil changes. So you see here some reddish and orangey ochre color, or that's how we call it, but you see the minerals in the sandstone underneath the pine trees that we have here, and other garrigue shaped vegetation. And now we're getting higher up, and so you get a little bit of rest. We are coming to the top very soon. I huff and puff, and then you get a view onto the Luberon, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. And we go into the quarry now. Here we are. Welcome to Roussillon, the quarry of ochre. We call it also the Petit Grand Canyon, the Petit Canyon, the little canyon. Reference to the colors, of course. Whoa, and I'm in the wind, so I'm gonna try to turn out of it. And so you're parked the bike up there and paid my entrance and came a couple stairs down. And now I want to show you a little bit, and we go just on a walk through the canyon, and I want to show you and tell you a little bit more about the canyon, the production, and
Yes, and I hope you enjoyed just the views here because this is just wonderful. So welcome to Roussillon.
The ochre was discovered here in the around 1800, actually, we have to say, pretty much. And what it means, what is ochre? Ochre is a pigment. It's a reddish colored pigment, and it is actually part of the sandstone that we have here. So 80% of the stone that you see is sand, and 20% is ochre. And it is a very, it's a pigment, or it's a mineral, I should rather say, that is very high on iron. Coalite is it called, and so it was discovered in 1800, and then started to be extracted. And in the beginning, so the amounts were rather small. So it started actually, so I'm saying 1800, but actually it's in the end 1780 or so for the first time. And it was under sky, so open quarries, and then eventually also with explosives, so enclosed mines. And so the exploitation went on until the 1920s. So in between the wars, then it was over, because we had then the competition, as I said, from artificial colors, chemical advancement, and so on. And so I'm just walking here a little bit. I hope you don't mind. I go on a stroll. And so in these 130 years or 150 years, Roussillon was one of the very, very important excavation areas for ochre. Ochre is here in Provence, or I should rather say here in the Vaucluse, very, very rich, and we have a lot of it, but otherwise in France we don't have too much. And how it is excavated is merci. How it is excavated is we have, as said, so we have the sand, and we have the stone. We will put that then, so we get it out and we put it, we make sand out of it, so we already make smaller particles, and eventually we put it all into a pool, into a piscine, we can say, in a pool, and we fill it up with water. And so the biggest parts we get out, so the dirty parts, we can say, we get out. And then after that, actually I think we're gonna go up again. There's so many people coming out. I think we have better views from up there. Do you mind? Oh, come on, let's go up. This is nicer. And you know, we see different things. So we're having pine trees, and we have oak trees behind it. This is beautiful, the light. So to finish the story, and then I give you a little bit of break. Yes, so then we have it all in a pool, and we have the sun shining. And of course, before it was just because through this. Mama, hurry up! Dépêche-toi. And so it took a while. And what we have the sand that is heavier, sinking down, and we have the ochre on top of it sitting. And so it was possible, after the water had dried, then to just rake off the ochre, actually the pigment from the top. Okay, so this is the first step. How do we get the different colors? So is this a natural process that we have these different colors of ochre, or is this artificially done? Well, both. So first of all, here what we see now, this is natural, due to the exposure to the sun, due to the shade, due to the temperature. So all of that has an impact on what we see as far as the color scheme. And therefore, there's already a hint. So if we artificially want to put our hand in there, then what we have to do is we actually, once we have collected our pigments away from our sand, then we burn it. And so it depends, and there were masters that burning masters really, that were specialists in the ovens. So it is up to us and to the master then how long and how high the temperature will be. And therefore, the longer or the higher the temperatures, the hotter, the darker the pigment will become. So the dark red pigment was exposed most to sun and to heat. Well, I like this one here. Isn't that beautiful? Look up there with the beautiful pines. We also make our way up. Are you sitting down or are you walking? Maybe on the treadmill. Do you do the stairs? Let's do the stairs. Wow, there's a great view coming up. So, and now we have one more quarry that is functioning, working. And we have one studio also here. So in Roussillon, if you're a painter, then you probably are familiar with, and you can also look that up. So you can order pigments from here, which is quite something special. Look at this, beautiful. It's about 5 o'clock. So now the yellow sun comes in. There we go. Yes, and we had before 18 quarries working, and now we have one left. What was ochre used for, you maybe also wonder? Let's just check it out. That seems quite dramatic here. Yes, it is beautiful.
Magnifique, we could say, but now we turn around and we continue moving on, and we walk in this beautiful light. Hello, hello. So we are continue walking. Well, we walk backwards, but also still through this wonderful pine forest, and I hope you enjoy it. But we are making slowly our way back because we still have ways to go. Our next stop will be again further on, about another 10 kilometers in Gordes. Gordes, another hilltop town, beautiful, very dramatic. We have a whole other setting. Nevertheless, let's not forget about talking about what ochre actually was used for, and I'm gonna let you know that when we come to the exit, because I think there we have some quite dramatic and beautiful views still before we leave from here and heading further on to Gordes. Voila, so and here we come to the exit, and I'm just doing a loop with you again around to the different shades because it's so beautifully and dramatic. But so what was ochre used for? Since prehistoric times, really, ochre is used as a coloring agent. And so we have it coloring for makeup, we have it coloring for houses, for painting, artistic painting, and at the same time, also in the 19th century, it was discovered also as a thickening agent, and used very much for that. And so now here we can climb up a little bit, and we have a view further on to the northwest. That is also where we're gonna head to Gordes in a second. And if you look again at all the landscape that we saw and see now, so this is partly due to mechanical exploitation of the soil, but also very much since the middle of the 20th century, we have to say nature has taken over again, and this is what nature did to this area, and now we use it in the last years as this quarry. And I hope you enjoyed it, and now we are heading further on, and I'm gonna go riding for 10-15 kilometers through. Here you see different countryside again, color scheme will be different, and now in a second we are climbing up again. Here we go, there we have Gordes, and I am arriving at the top of Gordes, huffing puffing again. Beautiful, beautiful day out. So 10 kilometers later, so here we have the castle of Gordes. And this is wonderful and beautiful square to sit also. I'm gonna show you in a second. There is a wonderful cafe. Yes, so here you see the wind, so I'm re-recording it because the wind was really nasty, but beautiful fountain, beautiful cafe under wonderful plane trees, the sycamore family trees, and you see people enjoy it. Sitting outside, and here we come to, I wanted to show you this. So this means sorte masqué, that means go outside with masks, with a mask on. And then here well, there are some regulation written of how Gordes is handling this time during COVID. This is the city of Gordes, the Ville de Gordes, where we are, and now we're
at a Renaissance castle chateau, which all the structures already to it. So this is a quite prominent and big one. You see that there are older and former structures before the rather very sophisticated upper part when you look at the windows. So where we talk about 16th, 17th century, but down here these stones are older. So here we talk medieval, we talk about 12th, 13th in particular century, and it has evolved, it got bigger and bigger. So some of the beginnings is the tower, for example, that you see here. And here is the entrance. Closed, unfortunately, but just wanted to show you. So these windows is typical French Renaissance. So you see where the windows are divided with the masonry into different fields in right angles. That is typical for French Renaissance, while the Italian Renaissance obviously has also its play here. That is, for example, on the gable above the door that you see, the triangular gable. So there you have that. That is the base, the Italian Renaissance, the Florentine Renaissance, and then in the different countries, different styles or local styles have developed even in different areas. Yes, and so these are the typical stonework here also in the Luberon, so the natural stone, the limestone, rather flat, often not too worked on, and then used for walls, or for walls for protecting walls, or for walls for buildings. And just one more look higher up, there you see in the corner there's a tower around it. Rather windy up here, so I'm not sure about the audio. We have a little bit of Mistral, so the north wind funneling down the Rhone River, and I felt it also on the bike because I was riding north just now, coming from Roussillon. And so up here, of course, on the hilltop town of Gordes, it's blowing even more so. Hilltop towns, we have a lot here in the Luberon. Why do we have those? Because these are the towns that were created or were starting to grow, particularly medieval, so 1200s, some even before, and then of course further on. And that is the time of insecurity, and when people are quite concerned about feuds and wars, and so the best protection is to be high up and to see where your enemies come from. Very simple, very practical. I want just to show you on this corner here, this what you see here. Here, it seems kind of out of proportion. I always think this is one of the phenomena of Gordes. So this is the church of Gordes, which is just really big. The facade was added later, so we speak about a Renaissance facade again, even later. So here we are 18th century actually. I'm gonna have a look. I think the church is open. Let's see what we find inside. Look at the stone. So this is really very old stonework. There you can actually see it beautifully here, the stone. Little alleys with cafes, of course. People love to sit. So I'm gonna go take you. It is now after 6 o'clock, so shops are closed and it's Sunday. Also one reason. So let's see, that's the St. Firmin Church. We go inside, so it was started to be built in the 11th and 12th century. But now what we see here is 18th century facade on the outside, what we saw, and then inside. So now we get a rather simple interior. Renaissance, almost in a Jesuit style, we could say. But so you see very, very colorful. So this is 18th and 19th century, beautiful colors. That is maybe surprising to a lot of, we don't see so much of that often. We have lost the colors. But as I said, so this is not ancient, this is 19th century. Not always on all places, also renovated. What you can see here also is wonderful fake marble. So here we have an example down here, but I have actually just seen a better one. Okay, let me show you this. So you see this? That's not even seriously tried to be fake marble, I think, when I look at it. But, well, it is in a way. You see, this is just the limestone, the usual limestone, and painted in a pseudo marble ornament, or like here. You have that too. So this is not because, this is actually wood, look underneath, and then plaster. See? This is not because they're cheapo or anything else. This was a practice actually very often. Often this stucco, as we call it, stucco, was more expensive than actual marble. So this is also in Northern Europe quite popular during Renaissance time, late Renaissance time. Okay, let's go outside and just see a little bit more. Saint-Firmin, and the door gets closed. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Merci. So let's just see a little bit further. There we go. So what I want to show you in particular is the tightness, of course, of the alleys. You hear me still with my biking shoes. And so here these paths or streets, yeah, of the medieval city, these are old. And you see how shiny they are. So this is a lot of people have walked over it. And what I would like to show you now, we're going to, at least from the outside, is the mill, because so this was an olive oil growing area, has been, and so we have already early on we have olive mills here, and there is a nice example here, which is a historical monument, which is actually whole Gordes is a historical monument. This is when you see these signs, Monument historique. So this is French, that is listed historical monument. That means also, we cannot go inside. This is here, actually behind here is a beautiful mill. I can show you maybe a little bit here. So that means also historical monument, that you cannot just change and do what you would like. So meaning if you buy here a house, you cannot just put an air condition in or open up your wall, or so that's what you would see happen. That you can just build in an elevator or open up your wall for a nicer window, or have have a balcony. So this is all not allowed when you are having an apartment or a house in a zone, or the building itself just is as an historical monument. So let's just see. So this is, you can apply for it. It's a long procedure. You can apply for it, then the Ministry of Culture will have a look at it, and then you, if you get the okay, then you will have the right to call for certain artisans, and they then will come and eventually maybe build what you would like, but it depends. So here we have a look over the Luberon again. So we come from, and I'm trying to zoom now in, we come from over there. There's Roussillon. So you see, so down there you have a lot of lavender, wines, olives, and the majority of indigenous greenery here is oak, Mediterranean oak. And we will then further on go in this direction. So now we go back up. I have one more thing I wanted to show you also. So here, first of all, you see how it goes up, and then have a look here at the path. So you see in the middle there are stairs where most of us try to walk on because it's handy, and on the outside not. So this is also how it has been, because people would actually come with their donkeys and with their carriages behind, and so the donkey would walk here in the middle and pull the carriage up, and so the wheels could roll on the left and on the right side of it. So here up again we come to this, I almost wanted to say monstrous facade, but it is a little bit out of proportion. And then we're gonna make we're getting motion sickness. Then we're gonna go to one other corner, which I also always like very much. By the church again, coming up to the castle. Here we see our vehicle, the bicycle, not the motorcycle, the bicycle. And we're walking by. Be careful now. And I just wanted to show you the square here also. So we're gonna take this road later down because I want to go with you and show you, have a look at the abbaye de Senanque. Here we have typical Provençal goods, tablecloth, dish towels, soaps from Marseille, perfume, the essences, certain sweets of course, jams, oh, very nice. This is a very, so Gordes is one of the main touristic stops on a Luberon tour, but it is also particularly charming. This is charming. Some stones, the alchemist and the fairy called this shop. Cafe. Very pleasant to have a stop here. I understand that this is very nice. I'll go down with you. Okay, so we have just left one of the gates, but I will let them finish and then we're gonna go back. So have a look at this. Charming, 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 isn't it? Very photogenic. Genetic. Yeah, so we came out on the one side, so our first inner gate, but now look at this beautiful palace here in the back. Can you see? Well, we should go to the corner at least, no? Or maybe we should go up there. Let's go up there first, what we see. So we are walking up here, so these are later buildings. You can see that because they are rather big, you know, and very developed already, the windows and everything. And then here we cannot see too much because there's plaster above it, but what you see next to it, so this is how you have to imagine it. And then look at this. Well, it's always worthwhile climbing upstairs, I think. Beautiful. So there you see the stones that I was mentioning before. Oh, I have to watch out here. Stairs, I have seen a couple people walking up and down. Okay, so let's go back up. Look at this wine. I see it there. This is one wine plant. Now let's go to the lookout and then the gate, and then we ride further on. So again, so we're looking south, and here then to the west. Oh, but this is towards the abbaye de Senanque on the other side of the valley. So the city spreads. Actually, you will see that when we loop around with the bike. It spreads on this hill, and then so we have a gorge there actually on the other side. So here and down there it would continue on, but we're not going there now. there's the outer gate there. I think you can see it. And then I'm gonna show you the inner gate in a moment, which is here. Voila. So there's an inner gate. Well, you cannot really see it too because of the scaffolding, but there it is. And we go back in again.
We pick up our bike and from the castle where we parked, and we're gonna go outside on the other part of town, the other side. And so we're gonna just ride along, and we come to a hairpin curve, and we make our way now to the other side of the hill where Gordes is located on, and we're gonna have a beautiful, wonderful view, panorama view onto the town. And then we're gonna continue our ride, and you will hear me huffing and puffing because we have to climb up quite a bit to have a great view down onto the Senanque Abbey, the Cistercian Abbey that I mentioned before. It is a little bit too late to go there, but at least we get a view that a lot of you know. So here now comes the wonderful view onto Gordes, and now we are riding up, and I just let you enjoy the panorama. And now we are on our way up, 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 and we have a dramatic view down into the valley, onto the Abbaye de Senanque, still functioning Cistercian Abbey, beautifully located down in the valley, often in June, July, with lavender fields in front and the beautiful chapel. So many of you are probably familiar with that. We didn't have time to go down, but I hope you enjoyed our day, because now we are on our way back home, and I hope I make it actually before it gets dark. It is about 7:30 or so at night. Yes, 25 more kilometers to go, but I hope you had a good time. So from the Roman bridge, through the rides, of course, and going, through the Roussillon, the Ochre, and to Gordes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, so you maybe want to drop in at nomadsview.com and check out the tip jar. The information you find all in the description, or of course there is also, if you want to support me, PayPal, Daniela, Wedel, yahoo.com is another option. Would be very much appreciated on our ROLLaROUTE tours that I do for you right now here during this time of COVID. Yes, so check that all out. I hope you come back for another ROLLaROUTE, and look forward to meet you again. Thank you so much, and bye bye, au revoir, merci.